Barrow, Steph.
What's going on, everybody? Nicholas Gambaro, Stefan Martinez here. Um, Another edition of the Nick and Steph Show is live and in living color, as they like to say. So we are live, we are in living color, and we have a lot to get to tonight. If you know anybody that loves sports and likes rants of sports, I suggest you do me a favor. I suggest you call them. I suggest you text them. I suggest you email. I suggest you do whatever it is you do. Get them here because this poor soul is going to unleash on his two franchises like I've never seen before. But I'd be remiss if we'd be remiss here at the Nick and Steph Show if we didn't start the show with the passing of Joe Morgan. Big dog. We're going to let you say your piece in a few, but I think it's important that we establish, we lost another legend late last night, early this morning. Reds Hall of Famer second baseman Joe Morgan died at the age of 77. And just a tremendous loss for the Reds family. This is just a tremendous loss for the baseball family. Just sad news to report. Joe Morgan was a legend in his playing days, was a part of the Big Red Machine in 75 that beat the Red Sox in an epic 7-game series.
That team was loaded too.
Oh, Davey Concepcion, the Pete Rose, Charlie Ball,
Bench.
Johnny Bench, yeah, Joe Morgan. They were loaded. They had stars all over the joint, as we like to say. And they were loaded for bear, and they won it. And so thoughts and prayers are with his family. Thoughts and prayers are with the Cincinnati Reds family. He also played for the San Francisco Giants, the Oakland A's. He played for quite a few teams in his day. So thoughts and prayers to the Morgan family on their tremendous loss. He's just a string in 5 Hall of Famers that we lost in 5 weeks. Tom Seaver, Whitey Ford, Joe Morgan, Al Kaline. So there's been a lot of loss in the baseball annals of Hall of Fame, and we would be remiss if we didn't mention him. So thoughts and prayers are with his family, with his fans all over the world. And if you know anything about Sunday Night Baseball, like we grew up as kids, there was nothing like hearing that theme music and hearing Joe Morgan and John Miller welcome you to Sunday Night Baseball for some epic matchups between the Yankees and Red Sox, Dodgers and Giants. Just devastating loss. John Miller sent out a heartfelt tweet about his former partner, and it's just the richest argument.
Loved him. Obviously, we weren't alive to see him play, but Sunday Night Baseball, I mean, we also have to rush home for those games. Like,
right.
When I was a big baseball fan when I was a kid, I remember, like, summer nights, if I wasn't out that night or doing anything, and I was home watching Sunday Night Baseball, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember those days as well.
Oh, the good old days.
Lad.
Especially
good old days. Yankee fan, right?
Oh yeah, just the good old days. But the way he broke down the game as an announcer was just beautiful to watch. I mean, beautiful to hear him.
Wow, great stat, James. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was, and you want to talk about what's up, Dougie? You want to talk about a generational talent, as James just mentioned. That right there is the epitome of generational talent. So, again, thoughts and prayers are with the Morgan family, and we have a tribute to him on our show page. So go check that out right now at Nick and Steph Show SH1 on Twitter, and at the Nick and Steph Show on Facebook. But let's dive into the NBA Finals. Let's dive into the Lakers celebrating their 17th NBA championship in franchise history.
Tied now with Boston.
Tied with Boston for the most. No, they're 0-10. It's not 0-8. 0-10. They're both 0-5. I don't mean that, It's nothing to write home about. We're gonna get to them in a few minutes because this guy is loaded for bear tonight. So he's sparing no expense, if you will. But congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers on winning their 17th championship. LeBron James winning his, I believe it's fourth Finals MVP. Is that correct? I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
4 Finals MVPs, fourth NBA title. Just his accolades speak for themselves. I mean, the guy he's a walking stat machine, and whether you like his play style or not, and whether you wish he was more aggressive, that's a point for another day, and that's a point for another time. Right now, we just want to celebrate him winning another title, and
as we put in our post, Kobe and Gigi definitely watching down, smiling.
There you go. And
that one was for them.
This one felt a little bit more special. This one felt a little bit more significant. Not that the other 16 weren't as significant, but this one felt a little bit more had a little bit more gravitas to it under some somber circumstances, and I'm sure Kobe was pissed that they didn't win in his Mamba jerseys, but they would be better like Buffalo. They actually played in. Oh my God, that's a good one. But listen, man, Anthony Davis was big in the NBA Finals. LeBron was. LeBron was. I'm gonna just ignore all the Cleveland Brown slander. I ain't here for it. 4-1's 4-1. You could take it how you want to take it. I ain't even gonna respond to that asinine comment. A win's a win, because if it was the Jets or any of these pathetic New York teams, we'd all be coming on.
Don't get me started early, because
I'm just saying, if you don't want the smoke, don't come over here with that, because I didn't start nothing. I'm just saying, don't start. Anyway, credit to the Lakers for winning the championship. And what does AD do now? I think we all know what he does now. I think he stays in Los Angeles, and I think he continues his legacy of being another great Laker big. I don't see him leaving. The Lakers can offer him more money, so that's where it Kansas City 4-1. Yes, we'll get to them too, but
yeah, we're gonna get into football. We're gonna a couple of not too big into the NHL free.
No, you don't. You don't want all that. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm telling you, no, you don't, because this guy is loaded for bear today. I'm telling you. He's not a very happy Jet fan. He's not very happy. You don't want this smoke today from this guy. I'm telling you. Because he was reading me off these numbers.
From you, because you're the Brown fan.
Well, nah, I ain't got nothing to say. I'm 4-1. You 0-5. Both your teams is horrible. There's nothing to say. Records indicate what they indicate. Now, the Jets I feel bad for. I feel bad for the Jets, and I'm not trying to be funny. Me and him had this conversation earlier. I kind of wish that I could run them for him. I kind of wish that I could take the reins over and be like, "Yo, can we fix this?" Because good Lord, man. I'm gonna let him get into all that. But listen, happy for Laker Nation. Happy for Kobe and Gigi that they got it done. LeBron, 4th NBA championship, 4th Finals MVP. You can't say nothing else. So, yeah. So you a Colts fan, so that's fine. I expect that. But listen,
yeah, he wants to talk trash with you, like that. Is what he's talking about.
No, he don't. No, he don't. Because I'm not in this space to talk trash. This is your show today.
Just end the season. Exactly.
He said that yesterday. Big Dog said that yesterday
in the group chat. Yeah, just end the season, and then in all caps already with like the exclamation.
Oh God. Listen, but you gotta give. Yeah, no, but I'm just gonna ignore his comment because this is about helping Big Dog and all his fellow Jet fans get through another miserable season.
James, one question: how did you celebrate last night? We're curious. Since you're late.
I know how you celebrated because I seen his Facebook post. It's nauseating. All good though, James. I love you, buddy. Johnny boy.
Been over since game one. I mean, Doug, it was over since before the season even started. But yeah, game one,
it was over when they took the field. The illegal block in the back penalty on the kickoff.
Yeah, like, typical Jets, right? Blocking the back penalty, first play of the game.
Oh, man.
Popping bottles. He probably was, James.
Running around in his goat mask, looking like Shannon Sharp's twin.
I could see that. Imagine being a fly on the wall and James is where he's watching it.
Oh, God.
At his house. That would have been fun.
Nah, James,
man. How he was celebrating.
Celebrate, brother. I can't knock you. Celebrate. Your boys won the chip. We can't rain on your parade today, brother. So, celebrate, man, and enjoy the fact that, you know what I mean? You guys won the championship. I can't be mad at it.
You sure you're not, though? Because I know you're not the biggest LeBron guy. Like, how'd you feel seeing him lift the trophy again?
I'm not. You know what? I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of his personally. I'm gonna be honest with you. We all know that. Like, we all know how I feel about the dude personally and all. I mean, as a basketball player, but I can't.
There you go.
There you go, man. Celebrate it. I'm not. Listen. You can't poo-poo accomplishment. I mean, 4 titles is 4 titles in any form of fashion. So, Laker Nation, celebrate your 17th title and LeBron's 4th. And I mean, just enjoy the moment, man. I'm just tired of all the comparisons about who's better, him or Mike. It's just not the day for that. Let them they're both great. Let them live. Let them live. Let them both have their moments. They both done great things in their careers. So,
and it's hard to compare players from different eras in any sport. I think
different eras, different positions. The game is different. The rules are different. Just they're both great. Like, just leave it at that. They're both great. Do we all have a personal preference who we'd rather see? You know what I mean? Or who we'd rather put in that number 1 spot? Yeah, we all have preferences, but I mean, your man won 4 titles, bro. I mean, at some point we just gotta lay off the LeBron slander and just keep moving on, man. Word up. It ain't gonna change. Yeah, you ain't gonna take the championships away from him. His resume speaks for itself. He's definitely on the Mount Rushmore of great athletes. So chill with all the LeBron hate. And this is coming from somebody that is not a fan of the dude, but you respect, greatness. At some point, you just got to just begrudgingly give it to the brother. What do you want him to do? I can't hate him. Nobody cares. Oh. See, I don't watch NASCAR, so when you said number 9,
watching that was probably better than watching the Jets yesterday. I mean,
oh God. Anyway, for those that don't know, the Sports Soul has been a Jet fan since he was. How old were you?
Before we get into that, because we'll probably end the show on football. We'll analyze all the game stuff like that later, but just to quickly mention a couple of NHL things because I want to get.
Oh yeah, right. Go ahead.
Very odd deal that went down last night. Everyone was anticipating where Taylor Hall was going to end up. He's going to Buffalo on a 1-year deal. Forgive me, I don't remember the exact numbers, but
I think it was
I say it's a weird deal from this standpoint. And Doug, Elijah, guys that follow hockey like I do, I want your take as well because I say odd because everyone, including myself, was expecting Taylor Hall to go to a cup-ready, cup contender team, and he signed with Buffalo. Not that Buffalo was horrible, but they're still, to me, in that rebuilding mode. Yes, stupid, right? Yeah, they have Jack Eichel. They got a couple of pieces, but they have no one really that you'd think, wow, Buffalo could go on a deep run just because they got Taylor Hall. I really don't understand it. Now again, it's only a 1-year deal. Thank you. Okay, $8 million for 1 year. Go ahead, Stefan. You want to say something?
Can I play devil's advocate and ask
Yeah.
you guys a question? Now, we know we're coming off a pandemic and money is scarce in all sports right now. Money is not the same it would be as in a normal regular season. And it's not going to be as easy to say, here's a 7-year deal for like $11 million or however much money he would have gotten on the open market had he hit free agency at quote unquote the perfect time. There is none of that this year. So my question is, and I'm sorry for the long-winded way about it, but my question is, do you think he took the money because he didn't see a better deal out there from a team that he thought would have been ready to give him the money?
That could have been.
He wanted to reestablish his value, have a solid season, go back in the market next year, and then get the big money next year when free agency could be getting back to quote unquote normal?
Right.
Could that be something that he thought about?
Yep. And the season could maybe return to normal by, the fall or hopefully, and then next year, 2022.
Right.
And maybe he didn't want to go back to Arizona. Maybe, like you said, they didn't have a great deal for him, and maybe no other team did. I just looking at it from a pure hockey standpoint, like if you want to win a championship, which I know he does because I know he and James, but you even know James, Devils really haven't been great. They were bad. I know Taylor Hall and the coach at the time, John Hines, really weren't getting along. Yeah, Vegas with Leonard, he totally deserved that. I'm so happy for him. I'm a huge Leonard fan. I'm sure you are, Doug. Just what he meant to the island and what he meant to the organization. We really helped him resurge his career.
Right.
In Vegas, too. He's been successful so far, and I hope it continues. But, yeah, on Taylor Hall, just to finish with him, we'll see. He's going to have a good year. He's going to put up numbers. I'm sure him and Eichel together, that'll be a nice line to watch if you're a hockey fan, if you love goal scoring.
Right.
Yeah, good guy and loved the fans, and we loved him back. So we kind of felt that connection with him. So that was really awesome. The best was like when he'd make a big save or he'd be doing a post-game press conference on the ice with Shannon and the whole building would chant, Leonard. Oh my God, and the whole place, I could tear up. It was awesome. Awesome. Speaking of the Islanders, we made a trade today. Devon Toews, defenseman, going to the Colorado Avalanche for a couple of second-round picks. Not a bad move. Again, you can't criticize anything Lou's going to do because trust the process, trust in Lou and Barry, what they're doing. Yes, Devon Toews was one of our best players, best defenseman. He put up really good numbers. But, yeah, I usually go to a few Islander games myself, too. Can't wait to get back in the building. And I'm hearing also from sources that Boychuk might be out the door soon as well.
That's about to get consummated, by the way. I just checked the email, so that's on the door.
Was reporting that as well. Also hearing from Arthur Staples. Shouts out to Arthur. Great job covering the Islanders. He expects Lou to do even more. The Islanders aren't done yet. So
I've heard the same. So it looks like we're
other sources too saying Lou ain't done yet.
Yeah. A name to watch is Corey Perry. I don't know again if they're able to come to an agreement, but that's a name to watch if you're an Islander fan. There is some traction there. Both camps have had conversations about what it would take to land him, whether it be a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal, similar to what they did with Leo Komarov. But there has been some conversations amongst those two, and hopefully it turns into something, but I'm not sure what yet and if it'll turn into anything substantial. But I do know that conversations have taken place and will further take place.
Really?
Yeah. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Also been hearing all day that Corey Schneider we might be signing, which isn't a bad move. He has experience under Lou with New Jersey. And he's
a 1 year
AHL for the past few years, so he, here and there. And he wants to revive his career, although it's kind of odd because, we're mostly going with Sorokin and Varley as the two goalie tandem, but just to have a third guy, I'm sure Schneider will probably start a season in Bridgeport. He's not going to be up with the big club, but it's not a bad move by any means if Lou gets it done. So, and he wants to bring Andy Green back, I'm hearing as well. So, we'll see. He is washed up, but, under Lou and under Mitch Korn, who's an unbelievable goalie coach.
Listen, they said the same thing about Leonard when you guys picked him up. So, if anybody knows how to resurrect a goalie, it could be Lou and that.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. And you can always use more goalies. I loved Halak. Yeah, me too. I liked him too a lot. He was great. Yeah. Although he had his moments. But listen, anyone who beats the Rangers almost every time, you go with me. So.
All right. Now for while we're really here, we're going to talk about the football and all that stuff in a second. But Big Dog has some stuff he has to get off his chest. So let me just tee this up by saying this guy he's as diehard as diehard is. He's as fanned out can be. Now, I need you guys to pay attention to what I'm about to say. He's at the end of his rope. And the reason why I know he's at the end of his rope, the Bears.
What's up, Pat? Yep. The Bears, Nick Foles.
He's at the end of his rope that he's rooting for the Chicago Bears and he's wearing a Mets sweatshirt. Okay? He refuses to wear Jet stuff. He refuses to acknowledge that the Jets are even in this universe.
Oh, one of my favorite movies, Die Hard.
So, Big Dog, I'm going to let you have a moment. I'm going to let you do...
4-1, that's right.
I'm going to let you do what you do. All I'm saying is, folks, if you love rants, you know people that love epic rants, call your friends. Call your neighbors. Call family members, because this is going to be epic. Big Dog, get ahead.
You're really putting a lot of pressure on me.
I got to, man. I got to. You should.
Save Eagles Jets. Honestly, Pat, any college Syracuse football team could probably beat the Jets. Or
Rutgers.
Just to keep it kind of local. Okay, look. We know every week we come on the show, I rant about the Jets, or I don't even rant sometimes and I'll just laugh or I'll just sound upset. But like at this point, and James, I'm sure you've been following the reports. John, I've been telling you all day. I've been texting you back and forth when I hear something about some idiotic thing Gase said today because he met with the media. Look, if you're thank you. If you're a Jet fan right now, and I don't want to get misunderstood, misconstrued, I am not, to start it off, right, Stefan? I'm not giving up on the Jets. I'm not calling it, like, I'm still a Jet fan. But all of you out there who's ever watching, from this point on, well, even before this season even started, like, not buying their merchandise. Well, you don't have to worry about not going to games because there's no fans this year. But starting next year, if fans are allowed in the building, which I think there could be, but again, who knows where the world's going to be, don't buy tickets. I mean, I'm at the point, and I love this team, but first of all, I'm not watching another Jet game this year. I barely watched yesterday. Yeah, you can't. What's up, Stern? You can't win without an O-line. You can't. The Jets have nothing. Nothing. Okay? This ownership does not give a you-know-what. They do not care. All they care about is stealing money from us fans. Us fans I'll admit it. I'm a dope for keep every year. Oh, nah, I gotta get my Jets hat and I gotta get my Jets hoodie and my Nike shirt. Oh, I gotta go to at least one game, right? It's tradition. I gotta go to one Jet game. That's more money in their pockets. Ratings, I keep watching them. That's more for them. I don't know about. We're gonna break it down more when we break down all the other games. No, God forbid, not Doug. I'm just. This team is real. Like, do Jet fans who ever watching Doug, John, James? I mean, I want to know how you feel too. Like, would you take it to that point of not going to games eventually, not buying or wearing their stuff too? Right, even that. If you have Jet stuff already, how could you even want to wear Jet stuff outside? It's embarrassing. Usually I still wear it, just be like, if someone says something to me out in the street or in a store, I'm like, I got to support my team. But even that's like, then you feel pathetic. Like you're wearing Jets crap. And you're like, man, like, really, how am I wearing this stuff in public? Even just hanging around my house today, like I was getting kind of cold. I'm like, which hoodie do I wear? I'm wearing a Jet hoodie, so I put on the Met one. I'm like, this team is just really at the – and then the things Gase was saying today, like everyone's an offensive everyone's saying, oh, this guy's an offensive genius. The owner's always amazing. He's a genius, right? Now he's apparently not even maybe going to be calling plays anymore. So I don't know what happened, what he decided that, oh, yeah, maybe toying around with the idea of somebody else calling plays. I don't know who, but whatever. I could call, and I've never coached a football game in my life, but I think I've watched the Jets long enough or football long enough to call plays. Anybody watching right now could call the Jets offense, okay? I mean, this team is so sickening and embarrassing. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And look, yeah, we say it every year, but then we come back for more torture. But at some point, and a little later, I'm going to, because I want Stefan, of course, to chime in, but for his one team that suffers as much as Jet fans and the Jets do, but we'll get into that later. But good, Doug. I mean, listen, if you sold all your Jet stuff, then you have a right to do that as a fan and not put up with this stuff anymore. I haven't won anything Jets the whole season. I haven't bought anything, and you know, Nick, I can't control myself with the Jets. I buy once I see it. James, me and you are exactly the same, man. We are like, I'm like that every year, but I'm glad to hear that, you know, and again, this is everyone's choice, but I'm just saying as a suggestion, maybe think about, you know, not buying their stuff, not wearing their stuff. So, James, I credit you, man, because I know it is hard. The NFL Nike gear is nice, right, Stefan? Like, you've been looking up Browns gear, like, man, I want to get this, and that. Jet stuff is nice. You're like, there's no way. I can't do it.
I just got a brown hoodie. I'm about to get a brown varsity jacket in a couple weeks, so I get it.
James, that's great. Because I think, and I've said this the past couple of weeks, listen, the Islanders, Doug, are the only team we have to be proud of. So, the only thing going for us in the Mets, hopefully, if you know, we'll see what happens with Cohen. But just this team is really, I'm just about had it. Like, I think I'm at that point where just not watching games, even next year, I know it's a year from now, but just maybe not watching games for a while, just not watching them. No tickets, no gear, no games, no TV watching either. I'll watch any other football like I've been doing, but after that loss against Denver, I said it, I'm not watching any other Jet game. So how could you, with an inept coach, an inept roster that doesn't, they don't even want to try. Everyone talks about how bad the Giants are. At least they try. At least they put in an effort. Jets don't even do that. Practice, right, Stefan? You were hearing, I was hearing too, following on Twitter. The Jets don't even put an effort in practice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just years of torture of this franchise. James, like all Jet fans out there, like, are you not at that point yet? Because please comment, please help me out here because part of me feels like, man, I think is that being a bad fan if I do that? Like if I not even watch their games, but then it's like, you know what? They don't care, to quote you, because you say it a lot. If they don't care, then why should you? Right? Why
my point exactly
through this, watching games or buying tickets to a game, travel, whatever, watching it on TV, planning your whole Sunday when you could probably be doing something else more productive or fun, and watch this garbage, idiotic, moronic, dumpster fire of a franchise. I mean, it's so aggravating. Like, it's really frustrating. Like, I've been a fan since I'm a little kid. I'll give you history here. And we'll give more history of mine and Stefan's teams, how we became fans, because actually we're planning that Q&A episode you guys want. We'll be definitely doing that soon. But just with the Jets alone, since at least I would say that I can actually remember, because most fans are like, I've been a fan since I'm born. That's really not realistic, how you were a fan since you were born. But since I could yeah, it's a horror show. And Stern, I know you and Jimmy have been season ticket holders for years. I mean, let me ask you, are you thinking of getting rid of your season tickets, or have you gotten rid of them? I'd rather watch paint dry. What's up, Emilio? That might be more entertaining than the Jets because they don't score points. No one can catch. Chris Herndon, are you serious? You can't catch when you're wide open. Jets haven't had a great tight end in years. He stinks. Whole wide receiving core stinks. Le'Veon Bell today wants out. He's going to pull a Jamal Adams. We already know that. He's probably going to start being on social media, Twitter, saying whatever just to get out of this organization. I can't blame him. I listened to Sam Darnold's interview today. He honestly sounded mad. Sounded like he didn't want to be on, which I could totally understand. The questions they were asking him, I mean, that's their job. But probably sick of it. Or you're 0-5. You're always hurt. Doesn't it hurt, Sam, that – yeah, obviously. I mean – and the coaching staff ain't doing nothing to help him. You know, now it's not all on Case, but most of it is. I'm blaming him, and I'm blaming ownership. And Joe Douglas, I'm sorry, you got to get some blame too. Because I know you've been the only one really that's been the only one, I guess, in the group, right, Stefan, that hasn't gotten severe blame for the Jets' ineptitude this season. But, my God, you only drafted one wide receiver. You didn't go out in free agency and get anyone at least decent. I'm not saying you had to go out and get a superstar, but my God, get this guy some weapons. The only guy who's been at least productive is Frank Gore, who's like 90. I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I really don't know. And me and Stefan talk all the time. I talk to my cousin John all the time about it. James, we still have 38 years. I've had enough. But Jimmy will go off the deep end if we stop. Thank God we're not in the stands this year. Wow. If Jimmy still goes to games, my God, I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, and still putting up money and giving it to them. But, I mean, that's his choice. That's, listen, it's a fan's choice. I'm not going to say shouldn't. I'm just really, I don't know what to do. And then you think every week, like, how can they get better? And yeah, you might think, all right, like someone said we need a QB, new quarterback. Someone says, or you think a new GM, a new coach. What's up,
Juan?
I mean, just like my grandfather. Look, I even brought pictures on here. Like, this is how big a Jet fan I am. I got Jet flags, okay? This was free. They gave this out. But still, I have a Jet flag. I got a Jet foam finger. I mean, look, this is, I don't know if you guys could see, that's my grandfather. God rest his soul. He's not with us anymore. And that's me. See me with blonde hair there? I was like 9 or 10 at the time. Little kid, see, with the Pennington jersey, all ready to go to a Jet game. I mean, and my grandfather, he had season tickets for 35 years up until he passed away. But, I mean, him too, I couldn't believe for so many years that he kept season tickets. Although I was texting, shouts out to my Uncle Jimmy, who lives in Seattle now, but he's originally from the area. And I was like, were you at that 96 season where we went 1-15 under Rich Kotite? And I'm like, did Grandpa go with you too? And he's like, nah, me and a buddy would go to like every game. We took the bus when we lived in Manhattan, but Grandpa couldn't take it anymore. He goes, I was like, all right, that's good. At least he didn't have to see that in person. But I said, for you to go and your friend, I'm like, that, wow, that's dedication, I said. And to take public transportation every game. And I mean, and even this, like, just, oh my God. I mean, I have a picture of me too at Hofstra University, like when the Jets used to practice there. And so I lost my train of thought. Where they used to practice and they had something for kids. I had to be 6 at the time, I think. And, you know, like they would have the Jet coaches and the players like helping the kids out with the drills. And like, it was fun. You get like target practice. You get to like the lineman would run the drill of like you had to run into the cushion thing, you know. So like it was cool. But like that's how far I go back with the Jets. Like Vinny Testaverde, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, those are my guys. Like that's when I really started becoming a Jet fan. And it's just frustrating. And I mean to go through the history, like for goodness freaking sakes, like one Super Bowl title. Once I'm almost done, and then I'm gonna let you speak because I'm sure you want to speak. Dying to speak, probably, because I want to bring you in on this as well with the Knicks and Jets, how that kind of goes.
I actually got some fresh reporting on the Jets, so I'm gonna let you finish up, and then we'll get to it.
Okay. But one Super Bowl, I'll run through this quickly. One Super Bowl title, one Super Bowl appearance. Now, here, and the first time, yeah, Curtis Martin. When I told Stefan this, he almost was like, what? The Jets only have now 2 AFL division titles going back to 68 and 69. But since the merger, the New York Jets only have 2 division titles. 2. That's it. In 1998 and 2002. That's it. Only 14 playoff appearances. 2 when they were in the American Football League and 12 when they were in the AFC. And I mean, none in the 70s. They didn't make this playoffs one time. They made it in 81, 82, 85, 86. So the 80s weren't that horrific. The 90s only twice, 91 and 98. And then the 2000s actually 01, 02, 04, 06, 09, and 2010. And then after that, now we're going on 10 years with no playoffs. I mean, 4 different stadiums, only 5 conference championships, you know, in 68, 82, the Mud Bowl game, 98, where we lost to Denver, give up a, 10-0 lead, 09 and 2010 where we lost. Now I'm going to run through the New York Jets' most terrible moments. and then this should really sit with people and really make them think about just. And I'm sure there are plenty more, but I just made like one page. I could have went on for hours. But the Mud Bowl game, where the field in Miami, you know what? They're like, let's give it to the Jets. Let's just not put tarp on the field. Let's not try and take care of the field. The Dolphins were used to this humid, rainy type of weather in Miami. Not that it rains all the time, but you know what I mean. Just horrible playing conditions. 1-15 in '96, the Rich Kotite year, awful. Almost every draft simply because you know how many players the Jets could have drafted and didn't. I ain't going through all that because we'd be here forever. '98, where Peyton decided to stay in school, stay at Tennessee, and not get drafted by the Jets #1. We actually drafted Keyshawn Johnson that year. Him and Joe Namath are the only #1 overall picks the Jets have ever had. Year after year, year after the Jets make the championship game in '98, Vinny Testaverde tears his Achilles. The backup also gets hurt, and the punter, Tom Tupa, had to be the quarterback for that game. 2000, Belichick resigns. Number 7, Paul Wayne Corbett, my guy, my favorite. Thank you, Caleb. My favorite player of all time. His career ends on a concussion, gets knocked out for like 10 minutes. He did come back and actually make a catch after that for a first down, but he couldn't play anymore. Lose back-to-back championship games in 2009 and 2010. Peyton Manning in 2012 decides not to join the Jets in free agency. He went to Denver and went to 2 Super Bowls and won one. The butt fumble, as Juan mentioned, I was there live for that. That was horrendous. And the Jets ended up losing like 49-16. I stayed till the fourth quarter like an idiot. Geno Smith gets punched in the face in 2015 for owing money for I forget what reason, but he owed one of his teammates money. Wasn't even that much. And just 10 years not being in the playoffs. Like, if that doesn't really change your mind about if you're still thinking about going to games when the pandemic's over, buying Jet stuff, wearing Jet stuff outside or at all, watching the games, really let all that settle in. Let it settle in, okay? I'm going to let Stefan give his reporting, and then we're going to get into a little more stuff with this because I want his take and all that. But go ahead. Oh, my God.
First of all, that was epic, my friend. That was epic. I not that I enjoy seeing anybody go through the misery that you just painted us, but the articulate nature in which you described what you've been through, it's beautiful, my friend. I'll tell you this. There is something to be said for what's happening with the Jets right now at this current moment. You talked about Jet history. Let's talk about the Jets in the current moment. There's a lot of the word that was told to me by people, with the know, if you will, inside the organization. Nobody knows really what's going to happen next. And stop me if this sounds familiar, but they don't know. Some people around the NFL, not with the Jets, but around the NFL, doubt that Trevor Lawrence would come out to play for the Jets. He would consider going back to school for another year to play for someone else before he says, I want to come out and I want to play for the New York Jets. Now, that could all be rhetoric from him and his camp who talk about, we don't want to play for we don't want to play for the Jets, but if the money's right and you don't want to risk injury, Dak Prescott's the perfect example of if you stay another year, you're risking injury and could possibly damage your NFL career, the potential of an NFL career. Now, I do know, to be quite honest with you, that it's only a matter of time before we find out what happens with Adam Gase, before we find out what happens with Sam Darnold. But here's one thing I think we need to point out. Joe Douglas is not innocent in all of this. You drafted Denzel Mims, you have to wear it. You drafted Mekhi Becton, you have to wear that. You know what I'm saying? You have to wear some of these um, you know, you you have to wear some of this if you're if,
That was a good
if
one,
you
sir.
are any a point at any point a part of this. And to be honest with you, they're a part of it and they have to wear it. So let's
What's up,
as,
Rick?
as far as my reporting goes, I'm going to tell you some stuff that I've heard. Le'Veon Bell and Adam Gase got into it at practice today. A lot of, you know, salty language was thrown around. A lot of, you know, FUs were you know, thrown at each other. And Adam Gase finishes the conversation, according to a person that was there, with, "There's a door. If you want out, we'll trade you." So if that's where we are with Le'Veon Bell, if that's where we are with that acquisition that you paid ridiculous money for at the running back position, wow, how idiotic this team is. And look, I'm not a Jet fan. I have no dog in the fight, but I remember when they hired Adam Gase. My point to you was simple. I'm just waiting for the implosion. And after 18 months, here the implosion is. Here it is for all the old world to see. Here it is. Here's the implosion. Here's the blow up. Here's where he gets snappy with the media. And here's where the insurrection starts. Where players are just like, "I'm out. I don't want to be here anymore. And this is how it's going to end." I, I, I will finish my soliloquy by saying this. At some point, at some point, Jet fans, you have to start some sort of mutiny. You have to start some sort of like, enough's enough. I mean, I know it's easier said than done because we're your fans and you just don't want to give up on your boys, and I get it. But you going to the games enables them to keep being dysfunctional. You enable them to keep doing what they're doing because they figure, oh, we're gonna have always their money in our pockets. They're always gonna come to games because they're loyal. And loyalty is not a bad thing, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So I think that needs to be pointed out with this franchise.
And that's a great transition, and I'm going to bring you back.
Right.
And that's one advantage. Now, disadvantage for the Johnsons, but advantage if Jet fans want to start a mutiny or a protest or a whatever you want to call it, because think about it. If Jet fans want to see, like, okay, let's not go to games. Let's hope no other fans go to games. And, maybe this could actually work because where the Jets play, they play in the middle of East Rutherford, New Jersey, which isn't really that far from the city, but it's still a trek, whether you're taking a train or a bus, and even driving. It is kind of like getting there ain't bad, but getting out of the parking lot and spending over $50 for parking, it's annoying. And also, it's not really – the Jets they're not the Giants, or they're not the Yankees or the Knicks, which I'm going to throw to you next, because
it's almost like you're throwing
tourists going to East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium for a football game where your Knicks, it's full every night.
Yeah, because you got tourists coming to the Garden. It's in the middle of Manhattan. It's Madison Square Garden. The allure of the arena is enough to get enough people in the building where it's gonna fill up. And then you have the Knicks fans that are just optimistic and hopeful and are wishing that it will turn around, that'll go to games, that'll spend money, that'll be like, this is going to be a year, like Fat Joe, like Spike Lee, like others who have done it for years and years and years and years, and it hasn't changed yet.
Now,
The Jets
I'm sorry, I just want to ask you a Nick question. Hypothetical world, what if those guys, Fat Joe, Spike Lee, Ben Stiller, Chris Rock, all the diehard Nick fans gave up their season tickets? Do you think Dolan would even bat an eye, or he wouldn't?
I don't think it matters, because when you saw what happened with Spike Lee, and he had Spike Lee kind of, you can't go through this entrance anymore, Spike, or you can't. I mean, Knicks fans were upset, but you have the majority of people in the building that either get the tickets from somebody. It's a night out. It's in the middle of Manhattan. It's the Garden. It's depending on where you're sitting. The view is always good. So I think, in a way, I think Jim Dolan cares. I just think it's misguided. Where the differences with the Johnsons is, I don't think they care. That you keeping Adam Gase this long shows that you don't know what you're doing, which is an indictment on you as an ownership group, or worse, you just don't care, which is 10 times worse than anything. Like, I can understand not knowing what to do. I can understand, not hiring the right people. I can understand all of that. But you just standing pat and watch this guy rip your franchise to shreds. Maybe it does take fans in the building. Maybe they're just like, oh, there's no fans in the building. It's a lost season anyway. Why make a move? We got to pay him. So why don't we just pay him to do work? We don't want to pay him to sit home and do nothing. That could be the attitude too. But it's like putting the good after bad. And I wish there was something else that I could say, or how another way to articulate what it is that I'm feeling as a casual observer of this franchise, as someone who is in the know on some things and who has some knowledge. But I'm as bewildered as you are from the inside, and hearing what they say, hearing what's going on, hearing how the practices are just disjointed, how nobody really wants to even be there most days. I'm like, how did we get here? At least with Todd Bowles, he had an answer, or he tried to give you
that
one.
First season, went 10-6, one game away from the playoffs.
Adam Gase just goes and talks to the media. Oh, well, I don't know, and I wish Le'Veon would talk to me instead of tweeting. And listen, when he has talked to you, he wants to rip your head off. So I don't think talking to you is a good idea.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't. And that's the problem.
Yeah, because even people who just want to go watch a cheap football game for dirt cheap, wear their team's jersey, or, keep an eye on their fantasy team while they're there, like, they don't even care.
Or tailgate and drink. That's it.
That's all. But, I mean, I think that's the only thing. If a really big chunk of the Jets fan base does something to kind of protest or revolt, then I really think then maybe the Johnsons will be like, wow, okay, well, the fan base really, like, even not calling in radio stations anymore, because.
Listen, when the fan base itself gives up and says, we're not going to call.
Or just keep calling in and say, I'm giving up, I'm giving away my tickets, I'm throwing my Jets stuff.
But at what point is that going to look? That may be it. Where you give up your gear.
I don't know.
I'm
throwing out ideas because
I
don't know.
I'm here with you. It's almost like when Madison Square Garden, and it's been you understand exactly. Dolan interested with. I mean, look. Well, he wants to build a winner with the Rangers because he's clearly put his money that way. Dolan wants to win, but I think Dolan wants to win his way, which is, I think that can be misconstrued as.
Juan, you said the perfect key word: miracle. Miracle. Well, hope we can have, like Joe B says, because what hope is there right now? We're Jet fans.
And here's the thing.
A miracle. That's really it. In all honesty, what strategical move can they do? Me and you talk about this all the time. You follow a lot of the money stuff and front office stuff. I follow more like the play, like.
Right.
Like,
Right.
What can you actually say that can really get this franchise turned around? Because even that, and Juan, I love it. You're trying to think of ideas because I do too. But even that, I'm thinking, how can
see? Here's the thing: if you give Joe Douglas another year, right, you really, in all actuality, have to give Joe Douglas another 2-3 years, which is why they signed him to the 6-year
to
deal.
get used to this
Because
head coach? And him and
Joe
Gase are
Douglas,
like buddy. So who
there
knows
you
maybe
go,
if he even would want to stay around? I don't
there
know.
you go, and because Adam Gase brought Joe Douglas in, so they're tied together because it's a package deal. Now, if he fires Adam Gase, what does it mean for the future of Joe Douglas? Does ownership go, well, he brought you in, we don't really think you can run a team, and fires the both of them? That is something that's something that I don't think we fathom either, or we talked about either. Is will it matter if Gase is fired? Will it matter if at any point? Because what does it mean for Joe Judge? I
Right,
mean,
because
not Joe Douglas. I'm sorry, Joe Douglas.
we're still in the same spot.
Yeah, but even if they look into the great pick, which they thought was going to be Sam Darnold, how do we know they're going to be able to develop him? That's the ultimate thing. Is how do we know that this is going to work? It's
So
man.
because there's really not like I could spew out ideas, but even then it's like, but that may not work, or that's the Jets, they'll screw that up, but even that may not work just in general. Like you can bring in a new head coach for Joe Douglas, but they may not get along. Now, of course, they'll probably get the option to choose, but still, I don't know. Like just it's so, and I don't want to come across as like not wanting to be a Jeff fan anymore because that ain't it. I love this team as sucky as they are, as bad as they've been for. Like I read you all of those stats, all of them, and all that stuff, and I could have went on and on.
I know it.
Just being handed it down to me from my grandfathers and uncles, my dad. My dad still wonders why I watched them bring back Rex.
See, here's the thing: if you bring back Rex Ryan, okay, we'll take one idea. I'll play along with that.
Because I've said that too, but
you bring back Rex Ryan. You have to make sure you have an offensive coach in there that can mold and groom a quarterback. Because Rex ain't gonna do it.
No.
We seen what happened with Sanchez.
He's defense only. What's up, Chad? Right.
And,
we're not going to talk politics, but right, he's in London. He's away from the team, and he's letting his brother run it, who also can't run a franchise.
Well, here's the thing. At least in the case of Woody, I think the brother's in over his head. Excuse me. I think Woody has an idea of what he might want, but ideas are good unless when they're on paper. It's just, I mean, I don't know. As the great Silvio says on The Sopranos, I don't know if I guess that's where we're at. We're at the Silvio point in the discussion. That's my point. That's the point right there. Rick just made the ultimate
point. That's a great point, Rick. Yeah.
If the cash flow is good.
Wow.
Yes. I just got the email.
And also too, NHL news, Alex Pietrangelo officially signed with Vegas, 7-year deal.
Yeah, so we got two breakings. Billy Beane is expected to be in position to be the Mets general manager. He's one candidate that they're talking about. So Billy Beane, back where it all started with the Mets, is a real possibility. I don't know where it leads. I don't know where it goes, but Billy Beane is expected to get an interview with the Mets for the general manager job.
All right.
Take with that what you will. Just
I should just do like my dad. Like he's still a Jet fan, but he don't want like he's waiting for them to get good again. Because I know him, he'll get invested, but he's just sick of it. He's just sick of it. I mean, obviously he's way older than me and has seen a lot more losing than I have. But
oh wow, well then I guess not. But I know that him and Sandy have worked together in the past, so I think that there's a connection there amongst those two. If Sandy calls, I think he takes the phone call. Does he take the deal? I'm not sure, but I think he at least listens to Sandy because they've had a connection in the past. So
I heard that's a good deal for the Flyers. Very good deal. And
so if Sandy makes the phone call, I think that he at least listens. Whether he takes the job, that's another story for another day, obviously.
And with Ray commenting there, just want to get into one more little, like a mini rant, and I'm not going to go crazy like I did before, and then we'll break down all the football before we head out and go through all the games and preview tonight. But look, me and Ray had a conversation a few hours ago on the phone. This guy called me. He was talking for at least a half hour straight.
I don't mean to
You're right. You're 100% right. And they still can't win because they suck. They suck. Last year they lost to the Giants. Sucked. Yeah. Yep. But at least they try.
Good point by AJ.
No, very good point. Very good history, too. Yeah, right. They did. Absolutely. But still, things got to change.
All right. So you want to get into your conversation with Ray. Continue.
Yeah, because even you were like, oh, my God, really? Like, what was you guys talking about?
Yeah.
He was apparently upset and never expressed it on the show. I said, Ray, like, comment. We want you to. This is what the show is. If you want to discuss something with me as Stefan and our teams, if you disagree, share it. But he went on and on about how I guess he doesn't like when me and other Met fans or Yankee haters get on. I've gone on you about it, him about it, everybody else about it who's a Yankee fan. That
word prayers for Dak Prescott.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We hope he gets well. Speedy recovery for Dak.
Well, I hope he comes back and kills it next year and gets
I love Dak. He's one of my favorites in the league.
Ill bag.
He doesn't like when I say, stop complaining. You guys have had so many years of success, winning, being in championship series, being in World Series, winning division titles, having great records, over 500 for a consistent amount of time, having owners that are competent, having a competent GM. And, and then he gave me this whole long explanation, and I listened and look, I get it. Right. I let you say your piece.
Yeah, right.
Hear me out. And I know you want to say something. I'm sure you're itching.
No, go ahead. Finish. I want you to get this all out because I agree with you for the most part.
And Razor, because you're a Met fan like me, I need help here. And Ray, I love you, but listen.
I agree with you for the most part. And before you go, like, do I do it because I'm just a miserable Yankee fan that wants to win the World Series every year? Yes, I'm miserable. What do you want from me? I'll admit it. I'm miserable. But I think the problem is when you take a step back from it, we're super fortunate to be in the position we're in. At least you know the ownership group's going to try its hardest to win every single season to put a winner on the field. Continue.
And that's the thing. Like, ownership never really cared.
Right.
You know, GMs haven't been great. I mean, Sandy had tried. Just over the years in general, just the way the organization's built. I mean, now with Brody, he's awful GM. But just in general, the whole Yankee Met landscape, do you want to know why Yankee fans should not complain? And I'm not going to mention the 27 titles, and I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to do the last 30 years. Because most of us watching this, I think, have been, again, there may be older people out there. Not that I'm saying you're old, just saying, you know, older than us. But last 30 years since we've been around, the Yankees have 5 World Series titles. 5. 22 playoff appearances since 1990. 7 World Series appearances. 12 Championship Series appearances. 14 division titles. 14. The Mets, no World Series titles, only 2 World Series appearances, only 5 playoff appearances for us, 99, 2000. Then we had a break until 06. Then we had another break in 2015. And then I don't even count this, but I'll throw it in there. When we made the wild card game in 16 and we lost to San Francisco. 4 Championship Series appearances, 2 division titles. That's why I hate the Yankees. Of course, they get everything right. They win all the time. It's aggravating. They're in your city. Being made fun of as a Met fan is annoying. Just seeing their success in the same town as you, the amount of success, and winning every year. And growing up, I remember with a cousin way back when, who was a Yankee fan, used to annoy me to no end about it. Going to school, having friends, Yankee fans, bugging the heck out of me about it. But just in general, the fact that Yankee fans have the nerve to complain is astounding to me. And look, I understand. Yes, you guys want to win championships, or you guys want success every year because that's what you expect. But I just think at the end of the day, thank your lucky stars that you have people in your organization that actually care and want to put winning on the field, and be thankful that you haven't had ineptitude and dysfunction in your organization, and you never really had embarrassing moments on the field. Because we could go through all that, but I ain't doing that because I did it with the Jets. Like, just look at those few stats I've read. That's why when Yankee fans, I hear them complain on the radio and the statements they make. The things they get mad about. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And then one person a couple weeks ago, being a Yankee fan's hard. Being a Yankee fan is so tough. Really? Really? Do you see these stats? Do you see them? Do you see them? Tough. Try being a Met fan. See how that feels. Okay? Oh, my God. You guys get the best of everything, and you still complain. That's why I don't like the Yankee fan base. That's why I don't like the Yankees, everything. I don't like their stadium. I don't like their team, their uniforms, their hat. I don't like nothing about the Yankees. But the fan base is the biggest reason because of that. Even you said it. One of the biggest Yankee fans I know my whole life. Well, not my whole life, although I feel like I know you my whole life. Even that gets under your skin. And you're a Yankee fan, but you're a good Yankee fan. You don't, although you do complain sometimes, and I call you out on it. But for the most part, you're good. And when you win, you don't shove it in my face. You're not like, oh,
No.
big, we're the Mets this year, huh? Big, another division title, another, championship series appearance. Just be thankful. God, I mean, I know you've only won one World Series in 20 years, but that's better than not winning nothing. I mean, goodness sake, be happy. You've been above 500 for 30, like practically 30 years straight.
28. This is the 28th season. I'm not trying to be funny.
No, but thank you for correcting me, because I was
super close on that. Right.
I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Am I wrong?
Let me pick apart some of this and say this. The problem is it's twofold. Yes, Yankee fans can be a little much. They can be a little bit. They can be a little much. They can be a lot much. The problem is that the ownership group tells you this is what we expect from this franchise. This franchise expects to win championships every year, from the ownership group to everybody in the organization. Now, if they weren't so open with their championship pursuits, I don't think they would get as much vitriol as they get. And I think that kind of hurts when it doesn't happen, because then people like you who hate the Yankees have the ammunition to say, you see, all you guys do is shoot for the stars. And when you come up short, it's beautiful, because at least I don't got to hear from you.
Superstars you have and have had.
Which I got to tell you, I'm over this whole superstar thing. Can we get some baseball players on my team, please? Like I'm all for occasional superstars here and there, but obviously money doesn't win you championships, and we've seen that over the last 20 plus years. One championship since 2000. So I think it's fair to say that the Met fan is entitled to have this moment in the sun where he says, I'm just sick of it. Yankee fans feel like they're entitled to the world. And it's unfortunate that this is something that is perpetuated year after year, because they rub it in your face when they're good. I see it on Twitter all the time. Like, oh, we're chasing 28 this year. And, you kind of got to let it go, Pat. You kind of got to let it go. And I used to do this as a kid, but then you realize when you come up short, now you don't have no response for nobody. When you said that you lost to the Astros in 17, granted they cheated. You lost to the Red Sox in 18, granted there was some shenanigans there as well. You lost to the Astros again in 19. Now you lose to the Rays in the first round of the playoffs under certain circumstances. I mean, we can't keep making excuses for people. You can't keep saying, well, if this was different, if that was different. Fact remains, this team is not as good as the fan base makes it out to be. And I'm a Yankee fan, so I'm entitled to make that statement. Whether you want to disagree with that or not, it's kind of laughable to hear the fan base just go completely crazy. Oh, this should have been our year. I mean, look, I'm just done with it, and you can't keep living off the potential of maybe this is it. Maybe they'll do it. I mean, come on, man. At what point, like, this guy would die for some potential. But some potential, he'll die. He'll die for the potential. We got. Yeah, that's accurate. And you see what the Rays are doing to the Astros. They're up 2-0 against the Astros. Tampa's not playing. I told you, starting the season, big dog, you at the house, you and Rick. I said, Tampa's winning the whole thing. And you both looked at me like I was crazy. I'm just saying. Just maddening sometimes. Maddening. Thank you for going off again. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Anytime. I didn't get those two things out there.
Go ahead. It's all good there.
I had to, man. It feels better.
Good.
Just to let it out. But there'll be more rants down the road, I'm sure.
Oh, of course.
Let's get into these football games. Quickly break down the baseball. What have you seen with these two series? So, I mean, it's very little, but...
Well, from both games I watched of the Astros Rays series, the Rays are just built for this, man. They're built for the boat race that is the extended, like, it's weird, but they have the roster depth. The roster construction is beautiful. It's the way they're building this club is beautiful. If I could build a club, I'd build it just like that. And sometimes I wonder if, how people just, you look at the money. You know what the Rays' entire payroll is? $61 million. You know what Garrett Cole?
That's the other thing too. I think Yankee fans are mad at is, how could they beat us when we have this amount of payroll?
Do you know what Giancarlo Stanton and Garrett Cole's contract are? Is per year combined?
How much?
About $65 million.
Mm-hmm.
$65 million for two guys. The Rays' entire payroll is $61 million. And it's I just love the way they do business. I want them to beat the Astros because for obvious reasons. But I hope the Rays win the whole thing. I really do. I wouldn't be mad. I'm all for it. Do they beat the Dodgers? Nah, I don't know about that. But yeah, Tampa's no joke. Tampa's pitching is real. They're real. Nah, they're not the little engine that could. They're the little engine that is. They're doing it. They are. Not that could. They are. They're doing it. Rays, Dodgers, I'm all for that. Give me 7 games. Right now, sign me up.
Yep.
For these football games, though. Russell Wilson. Oh, my...
That guy has to be an MVP this year. I know it's only 5 weeks, but he's my MVP vote. Oh, my God. Are you kidding? That last drive.
Ridiculous. First of all, throw to Metcalf in that window. Are you kidding me?
Tight window. Drive down the field like that. First of all, Mike Zimmer, why you go for it there? Just kick the field goal, make it an 8-point game.
Yo, Russ.
Get it. And we all knew, right, that Russell Wilson was going to drive them down the field and win.
Yo, Russ.
He's amazing. He's amazing.
As we like to say about you, Russ is different, though. He's different.
He's a beast.
Russ is different, man. The shock of the day for me, though, Vegas beating Kansas City in Kansas City, putting up a 40-burger on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes actually throwing it. Did Mahomes throw a pick six? No, he didn't throw a pick six, but, I mean, the interception he threw kind of gave Vegas the game.
Ruben's got them boys playing, man. Yo, they're not that bad as people might think.
No, they're not. And we're going to see another team in the AFC West tonight on Monday Night Football. These Chargers.
They're good.
Woo! That quarterback.
Make a wild card, but they're going to make things interesting.
But that quarterback, and watch out for them in the cup next year and the year after that.
Chargers are going to be a team to mess with.
Right. Hero, man. All right, Chad, that's a great point by you. Yeah, Russell Wilson is the guy's different.
Great game, close game, a lot of close games today.
Yeah, I was kind of. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was kind of shocked that Philly game was that close, and I'm not. That's not a shot at the Eagles.
I thought they were getting blown out too. I'm sorry, Caleb, but I thought they were going to kill them.
Yo, woo! Yeah, no, that game, Philly-Pittsburgh, that was interesting, and that was intense from the jump. A lot of trash talk, a lot of
the battle of PA.
I loved it. I had Red Zone on. I was into it for the majority of the day before my game started.
And this new guy Claypool with 7 receptions, 110 yards, and 3 TDs for Pittsburgh.
Four TDs. He had 4 touchdowns.
I don't know, ESPN then, I guess you got to fix your stats because I read 3 here. But all right.
He got 4 touchdowns. 4 touchdowns in a day.
3 TDs for Ben, no picks. Carson Wentz, 2 TDs, 2 picks.
Man.
Terrible.
Pittsburgh is real. I've been trying to Pittsburgh. Big Ben
good with a healthy Ben and that wide receiving core and that running James Conner.
Oh yeah, they're like Night of the Living Dead.
Yesterday.
And here's the thing: they had a stat on NFL Network. They had a stat. Yo, they had 4 borderline Hall of Famers: AB, Emmanuel Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
They threw 2 other names out there. I can't think of who the other 2 names are, and none of them were drafted in the first round.
Wow.
And they turned into elite receivers. And I'm like, there's something in the water over there because they just turning out receivers like it's.
There is a river right there next to Heinz, so.
Just I don't know. I'm just excited for, what's to come. And then you look at the AFC North: Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, all with 4 wins. That AFC playoff race to the end is going to be, yo.
Yeah, Ravens with a blowout win yesterday. Your boys with a good win yesterday against the tough Colts defense. They managed to get that done. I know you're looking forward to the game next week, but at the same time, you're like, man, we're on this roll, and you really had to put Pittsburgh next. Hey.
Right there, yeah, like.
But you got to be feeling good.
I am feeling good. I'm sure they're feeling good as well. So it's going to be a battle of the heavyweights in the AFC. Listen, Buffalo's
doing work. Not for nothing. Almost every AFC division except for the South.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's true.
Best team in the state. I'm so embarrassed. But no, you look at even the AFC East once Cam comes back healthy, and although I don't think he had symptoms, so he must be asymptomatic. But
which is very good. Okay,
yes.
I'm happy to hear that.
Me too.
I'm happy to hear that.
New England was rolling.
Yeah.
Miami annihilated a healthy almost healthy San Francisco because they still had injuries.
I'm gonna say something drastic.
43-17. I didn't see that coming.
That Jimmy G benching at halftime, and he wasn't hurt.
That's a sign of. And then the West, the Chiefs are rolling.
Griselda.
Oakland, Vegas, and then the Chargers. Chargers are gonna be interesting down the stretch. The Cowboy Giant game actually was great yesterday.
Yes, like we say,
except of course Dak, which we hope that was scary. But Dalton came in, they got the win.
I gotta say this though, Daniel Jones. I'm
telling you, that guy's gonna be good, man.
He's not perfect. He's not perfect. He's a young quarterback.
No, he's still got a lot of work to do.
But that kid got some onions.
The young lad.
Yeah, he got some onions and he got no fear.
Unlike Donald, who sees ghosts, but that's all. Nah, I can't get on Sam that much, but that really was terrible, Sam.
Oh man!
Jones wouldn't be caught saying that, but of course our quarterback did.
Yeah. Great game, so yeah.
And
I feel bad. Dak was about to get that crazy contract. Yo, he had 2,000 yards 5 games into the season. He just passed 2,000 yards, bro. Sucks, bro. Injuries are horrible.
The Panthers on a roll. They won, although Falcons stink, and they fired their GM and Dan Quinn finally, their head coach. And now Arthur Blank spoke today. He ain't even really committing to Matt Ryan long term.
Would you?
No. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Trevor Lawrence might go to Atlanta. If I could get to Atlanta, I might go there.
Listen, they might finish 0-6. Them and the Jets might have to do like a tiebreaker. Gets the number one pick. But it's gonna be who can lose worse. So who's gonna lose on purpose more?
That's crazy. Yo, that's wow. It's sad, bro.
It's
sad.
The Rams with a huge win yesterday, and Alex Smith.
Right.
We applaud him. I mean, for coming in. His family was in the stands.
His wife literally was all choked up watching him jog on the field. I was just like, ooh.
But
emotional moments.
Yesterday, they got killed, but.
And what does it say for the future of Dwayne Haskins? Like,
yeah, I really don't understand that. And again, Riverboat Ron, that's their decision.
Yeah, but that's a little drastic.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Really haven't seen much of Dwayne Haskins. I didn't think that's not the right move in my.
I mean, you can't. I haven't seen enough to make any significant judgment.
I get you want to win, but at the same time, like let the kid see. Let's see what he's got.
You ain't winning with him or without him. So what's the difference? Let him play. That's crazy.
Speaking of Buffalo too, they got the game tomorrow night at 7 against Tennessee. That's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them had really long breaks.
Matt Ryan has aged in the middle of the season. He's done. See, this is the thing though. Matt Ryan has always had it. Matt Ryan wasn't the same ever since the Super Bowl. He ain't the same. Ever since Brady snatched that Super Bowl from him, he ain't been the same. So, I think that also plays a part in it. Crazy, man. Crazy.
It is. And I just want to run through next. Of course, we got a week to. But
break it all down. Right.
Kind of good. Okay, a little bit. Pretty good. You got the Browns and Steelers. 4-1 against 4-0. So that should be entertaining. Bears, Panthers, both are good. Packers, Buccaneers. So Rodgers versus Brady. That's gonna be Rams, Niners, Sunday night. I don't know. I don't know. Kind of horrific. Because the Niners' 2 wins were against the Giants and Jets. I mean, take that for what you will, but yeah. Other than that, I mean, Jets automatic loss again. Dolphins will be 3-3. Yeah, not too many other games. I'm sorry. Actually, Monday night you got 2 games. One at 5, Chiefs, Bills. They can really make that the 8th game and move the Cardinals Cowboys to 5 o'clock, but they're not going to.
Wait.
And no Thursday night of this week.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. A
little bit. I'm going to miss it.
Kind of weird because I'm getting used to Thursday night football. Kind of weird. 2 Monday nighters ain't bad. That second game. Yeah.
Cardinals beat Dallas in Dallas.
No, Dallas finds a way to win that one too. Dallas. I mean, we can do that. I'm having fun enjoying watching your Rays. That is for sure. I'm enjoying myself. I will admit that. Let's go Rays. Until next spring, because then. Then I got to go back to hating you a little bit. But for now, you go with me. Anyway, Big Dog, you got anything else?
That's it, man. Any last parting words before we head out?
If you haven't watched the show from the beginning, I suggest you go do so now. Because the two rants this guy had
two of them
in the middle of this show is they're weep worthy. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Big Dog, this was fun, and we'll see you guys again on Thursday.
Enjoy the sports.
All right. Have a good night.